Welcome back everybody, Chris Bricks here, and today we continue our Peugeot 9X8 Mans Hypercar build. Now this is like a mid-range Technic set with 1,775 pieces. Last week we finished bags 1 and 2, which is deceptive because bags 1 and 2 is about 10 total bags. You had the numbered bags, which I think totaled 6. You had an unmarked bag that you're randomly grabbing pieces from, and then you had bags within bags, like bagception going on. But you do get rewarded because you get all of this from bags 1 and 2. We have the suspension, we have the drivetrain, we got the hubs, steering rack, we have some of the interior built, so you get quite a bit out of bags 1 and 2. Now this week, we are going to be building out of bags 3 and 4. Initially, I was going to finish out the build, give a review this week, but I honestly did not want an 1.5 hour long video. So we'll do bags 3 and 4, give a quick review of that portion of the build. Next week, we'll hit up bag 5 and finish out the build, and then I don't feel rushed to give a full review, likes, dislikes, anything that comes up with the finishing of the build. And probably be a shorter video, which should make a lot of you happy. But before we start bags 3 and 4, I want to point out there is a poll on the channel. It's been out for a couple weeks. It only has 5 votes, but it's a very important poll. If you could take 10 seconds to just make a selection or put a comment in there, because the poll is asking about introducing future brands on here. We have, I think, Nicholas, Bav, Kada, and I can't remember if it's Mattel Brick Shop is the 4th one, because you're only allowed 4 selections in a poll. But I think those are the 4 on there, and right now, Nicholas and Kada are tied as the preferred brand to bring more onto this channel. Now I am taking this poll seriously, so your votes do count. I mean, eventually I'm going to have all of them on here because I like vehicles from all the different brands, and even some from Mold King. So if you want to see Mold King, drop it in the comments because I couldn't fit it on the poll as well. Or if you find another brand that maybe I didn't think of, like I think Gully or Julie, G-U-L-Y, however you say it, was mentioned. I got a couple of their vehicles picked out, because being an Alpha fan, they have a really cool Alpha one. Other brands that you see, you think it's something cool, throw it on there and let me know, because that poll will kind of determine the direction of where we're going to go with the channel with introducing other brands and building other brands on here. Now, I do a lot of Lego because I have a lot of Lego back stock. I don't like things just sitting in a box unbuilt. I want to build these things. So that's why we're seeing a lot of Lego right now. I do have my eye on a couple purchases in the very near future, but like I said, I need to get through this back stock. So drop your comments on the poll, select from one of the selections if you like the selections in the poll, and I'm going to leave it up for a couple more weeks just so we could get a good amount of votes if possible, if you feel like doing it. So I appreciate it if you take the time, 10, 15 seconds, make a selection, and then it determines the future of the channel. And if you're not subscribed and you have no idea what I'm talking about because it's the first time you're tuning in, check out the other videos. Scroll to the end of this one if this is the kind of content you like seeing. If you enjoy a majority of it being car brick builds, then drop a sub, hit the bell, drop a comment. I always respond to the comments, good and bad, because that's YouTube life. You got to deal with the good with the bad. And the only time I don't really respond is if I don't really understand what the comment is, and then I don't want to misconstrue something, But now that we got all that kind of admin stuff out of the way here, we have bags 3 and 4 today, so let's build. Bag 3's done. Just under 1 hour and 18 minutes. And for an hour and 18 minutes work, it doesn't look like we got much done besides give it what looks like a massive forehead on this car. But there were quite a few pieces. Fingers still have indentations from the little connector pieces because a lot of them were not playing ball this round and did not want to go into the holes at all. And so my fingers are on fire right now from that, which is always a good time. So what did we accomplish? Well, you could obviously see the roof of the car. We added that on there. Here's kind of a all around. All in this view, we have 3 stickers on this side, 3 stickers on this side, 1 right there. You put on about 10 or so stickers for this bag. So you get through about a quarter of the stickers just putting this part together. And this is where you're kind of putting the body panels on. As you can see, I already showed you kind of the roof. We do have the little knob for the steering, in case you want to steer that way. We also built the doors, which are right here. You can't even really tell they're doors here. They just look like window frames and that, but you lift them up, and there they are. They kind of lead you into the cockpit area. You have to climb over that giant fender and other side as well. But they go down. They're actually, considering they're only connected with 2 little prongs here, they actually work pretty good. They're not very, I mean, they're, you know, a little flimsy, but not as bad as you would think when you put them together. So they go in nice and smooth. They don't catch or anything, which is always a nice touch. We also, as you can see, added on the side panel with one of those giant stickers, which after doing this side first, the other side, start with kind of the smaller part of the sticker over here, align that, and then the rest of the sticker will go. I was trying to align it from the larger side, and it kept sticking and then shift, and then it would get crooked. And, you know, time lapse doesn't show because I haven't sped up so much, but I was messing around with that sticker forever, and I'm like, let me try the small side, and it was pretty much first try, and it worked. So that's just kind of a heads up if you're putting the stickers on here. We also got the under panels here. We built all of this as well as the bottom side version of it. We got all that in there. From the top, you can kind of see we built out everything over here. We also added some structure to the frame. Got it on both sides. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's a ton of connecting pieces. There's a lot of little inner workings to all these, you know, pieces being placed where they are. Especially the doors. The doors are made up of like 12, 15 pieces right there a piece. And you got a ton of prongs like on the pillars here where the doors actually connect and open up to. So, you know, nothing too overly complicated, pretty straightforward. It's one of those finger burner bags that from all pushing all the prongs in, getting them to snap in, that's probably the biggest pain about bag 3. And you got a decent amount of stickers. So I really didn't think, it didn't feel like it took an hour and just under an hour and 18 minutes, but when I stopped the timer, I'm like, wow. You know, because it's not like we built out the whole front end or built out the entire back, and we just did this. We added a roof, doors, and some side panels with Aero. And time flies, I guess, when you're having fun. We have 4 leftover pieces, teeny tiny pieces. So if you don't have teeny tiny pieces missing, check the bag, check the box, check the floor, because it's somewhere around there. And so far, with this set being 1,775 pieces, not the most generous with spares, so keep an eye on your pieces. Now, I did pull about 4 or 5 pieces, trying to remember, I was building for over an hour or so, out of the unmarked bag. Fortunately, LEGO does give you an indication when you need to pull pieces from this, but 4 or 5 came out of this, so. And I already kind of mentioned it, but our stickers are starting to dwindle down. A lot of the stickers came from this bag here, but we still obviously have a lot of stickers for the next bag as well. We're currently on 238 pages in, so we're looking at about another 140 to go. So let's put together bag 4 and finish out this video. Bag 4 is done. 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 32 seconds. So this bag was just as long as the other bag, but you feel like you got so much more done. Whereas bag 3, you had the undercarriage part here. You have the doors, which open up nicely, kind of flare out. And this top part, that was it for bag 3. You didn't really see all those pieces that you put into it. Bag 4 is quite the opposite. As you can see, everything here back is bag 4 as far as it goes with body panels and everything. So what did we build? Well, this for one thing. And yes, that is intentional. It appears there's like 4 white prongs on the bottom here, and they just slot right into the frame. So this actually does not, as far as I know, not, as of end of bag 4, this does not snap in any way. So maybe that it's easier for you to take it off, see the mechanics moving, I don't know. But this piece is a lot. There's a lot of connectors that went into this piece, a lot of components that went into this piece, and quite a few stickers, which we'll get to because I'm not happy with LEGO on this, but maybe it's just me a nitpick thing, but they could have done better. You can see the bottom here. There's quite a bit going into it. This is quite a few pages of work. And actually, my hand ended up cramping up for about 10 to 15 minutes while going halfway through building that. I actually stopped the timer and had to put like a warm compress. Like my fingers were full, curling into a fist, and I could not open my hand because the cramp was so bad. But earlier in the day, I did mow the lawn, so maybe I'm dehydrated, need electrolytes. I don't know, but the hand is feeling mostly better. I feel like I'm one stretch too far and it's gonna come right back, but we got it done. I slowed down a little bit at the end, so maybe your time will be a little quicker. But this component here, you can see, is the complete rear end engine cover. When I take it out, it looks like I just chopped a square out the back of it. So we'll throw this back on to kind of give it that full look. And you also put in the taillights, which actually I really like. These are all stickers. Now, there are 41 stickers on this, but stickers 19 and 21 are made up of 9 apiece. So really, you're looking at closer to 60 stickers, probably, because some of them are numbered the same in this set. So between 55, 60 stickers actually for this one. But I like how they look. Normally, I'm a big fan of putting like actual clear red pieces, and I think they still could have done that here, or maybe put some kind of transparent / black to get that kind of effect on it. But overall, they do look good. The bright red like that. Here's the full back end. You can see we have part of this like duckbill spoiler right there, Peugeot on the top. You got the Aero, and of course, the other side of the taillights. Honestly, this rear end, this back part, looks really good on this car. I really like how this turned out. It looks awesome. It looks futuristic, and it even lacks that spoiler, which when looking up some slight quick research on this car, especially what the 9X8 stood for, this initially ran with no big spoiler. Like all the other Le Mans prototypes had these spoilers for downforce and everything, and Peugeot's like, nah, we designed this one. And this was kind of their prototype, you know, with no spoiler. And then I found out that they ended up going to a spoiler like everyone else because it just wasn't competitive enough. But for this purpose, that's your spoiler right there. This little duckbill. At first it had moving pieces that sit underneath it that connect, and I thought maybe you would go out in that, but it's locked in place. It doesn't move, but it's just got this cool Batman kind of effect on the back, and just a very menacing looking back end on this car. I like how it looks. Now, I'm curious what the front will look, but honestly, rear 3/4, that's quite an awesome view on this car, and I think they did a great job with that. And here's kind of the top view. I don't want this to kind of fall out and hit stuff, but that's kind of what we're looking at from the top. I guess I could do it sideways also, but it has good coverage too. And you see how the exhaust comes out, the little vents out the top of, I guess, what would be the engine cover area. I think that's pretty cool too. I just noticed that now as I was looking in the camera, so we learned this together. So that is an awesome little trick. I like that. So what was my issue with the stickers? We'll just pull this guy off for now. And as you can see, when you pull it off, you still have your view of your twin turbo 6. You got the turbos, you got the exhaust, and the gearing that controls all the wheel movement. But we'll set this to the side real quick. And as you can see, you got the nice split sticker. The G looks a little funny, doesn't it? Now, you put, the word is split in half. You have to put one on one side, one on the other. Of course, like a Porsche. Of course, I put the first part of the sticker right up on the edge of it, and then the other one I butt up right up next to it to get as even and little gap as possible. As you can see, when you do that, you have a weird looking G. All the other letters are really spaced out, not the G. It's a little short, little stubby guy. And I can't believe LEGO did not have the forethought to think it looks normal on the sheet. But when they pull it off, they're losing about 2-3 millimeters on each side of the G. Maybe we should compensate, print the G actually a little bigger, so that way when they pull off the sticker, the G will match the rest of the font of Peugeot. That is not the case. Other side, same story. I mean, this had to go through QA, who did not notice, like, oh hey, the G looks a little jacked. Can't we spread it out a little bit more, give a more, border, more length to it? No. We're just gonna have a funky looking G on this $200 LEGO set. Honestly, that's my only complaint through this entire bags 3 and 4, really, is that sticker. And the reason I'm complaining about it is because everybody's going to see this sticker. This isn't a hidden sticker. This isn't in the dash. This isn't on the seat or something where it doesn't really matter. This is literally the rear aero of the car. I mean, you throw it on here. Once I align it, there we go. And what do you see? Right there. And you go to the other side, you're going to see it right there also. Actually, it's the more prominent of the stickers besides down here where they have their number for the race car. So, big miss on that. LEGO just QA a little bit. When you build a set, just fully put it together, put all the stickers on it, and look at it and be like, it'd take 2 seconds in like Photoshop, Illustrator, however you design your stickers to fix that. And you'd be good to go and there'd be no complaints. But other than that, right now, the car looks absolutely amazing. Like I said, this back area, that's menacing. And it would be really cool with a light set. Like if these were clear and you could get the little LED lights on it, that would look completely awesome. But so for bags 3 and 4, it took 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 29 seconds. So these are some hefty bags, about 40 minutes longer than bags 1 and 2. Now, so far to get to this point, we're looking at 4 hours, 13 and a half minutes, which honestly isn't too bad. Like I said, 1,775 pieces, and I had to slow down at the end, so your time may be even a little quicker. And I had to rebuild some things because I was rushing it. With the hand cramp at the end, my last, 15 pages, I was using the table to push in pieces more than actually my thumb in that because I didn't want my hand to cramp back up. As for leftover pieces, you get a whopping 2. That's it. If you do not see a wrench or what looks like a mechanical Lego man arm and a black connector, check the bag, check the box, check the floor, because you're missing pieces. Fortunately, you have clear bags though, so there's no mystery. Is it in the bag? It may still be, but at least you could see it and not try to guess with the new paper bags that I hate. And overall, that's it. This set is not generous with leftover pieces, so take care of your pieces, keep an eye on them. And that is going to end it for this week's video. So next week will be the finale. I know, I lied on my initial idea or thought process of what I was going to do with this build. But next week, we just have bag 5 and a few of the leftover pieces from the mystery bag. So After that, it'll be completely done. I don't have to rush a review and feel like I'm pressed for time. So it will probably be a shorter video, which is great. All of you should be happy. And it'll give us a time to kind of pull out Old Faithful Le Mans car from back in the day and kind of compare like details, coverage of the pieces, you know, whatever comes to mind, because I kind of do this by the seat of my pants because I want to be authentic with you guys, you know. I don't need to script reactions. You should see what my initial reaction is as soon as I'm done building it, so you know how I actually truly feel about it. But overall, so far great. So if you could get this set on sale so far, definitely recommend it. We'll see how back 5 goes. Maybe I'll change my mind. But if the front looks anything as good as this back, this is a winner. This is a good keeper. And try to get it on sale. If you've come this far through the video, or you just scrolled all the way to the end for the last 30 seconds, either way, you're still tuning in. Thank you. To everybody who's new here, if you like LEGO builds, Technic builds, used to do blue bricks, but they don't ship to this country anymore right now. I have some amazing sets on lock over there, but I can't get them in. But we do Nifilas, we do Kata, we do, you know, all the Mold King is like one of the only ones I haven't yet, but I do have a few of those even to look at, even though I've heard that I've been hit or miss with their quality and QA as well. But we gotta give them a try, right? But if you like 99% automotive builds with the occasional random computer or Game Boy or spaceship, then, you know, throw a comment in there. If you guys have any suggestions, throw it in the comments. Did you build this set? Are you looking at this set? Are you on the fence on this set? Let me know in the comments. I try to always reply to the comments. I love seeing that notification bell for me when it's like, hey, someone commented, good or bad. They're not all positive, but, you know, YouTube life, you take it and you move on. So thank you for taking the time to tune in. I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day to watch us build. And I will see you next week for the conclusion of the Peugeot 9X8 Le Mans Hypercar. See you later.